Welcome to This Daring Adventure podcast, where we work on bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to be in order to live a bigger and bolder life. In this podcast, we will provide inspiration, tips, and skills you need to make your life the adventure you want it to be. Here's your host, mindset mentor, and life coach, Trista Gurton.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. So this is episode 39, and it is on deciding ahead of time. And what I wanted to talk to you about today was making decisions ahead of time about how you want to think and how you want to feel about certain situations, certain events, certain discussions. It can be vacations, it can be whatever you want. But deciding ahead of time exactly what you want to think and how you want to feel and how you want your experience to be about it ahead of time. Now, I picked this idea up somewhere, but I can't remember exactly where. But I first really connected with it back in May. And I was planning my trip to Italy. I was going to Rome, and then I was going for 5 days to Tuscany. And I had this beautiful picture in my mind of walking around Rome and lying by the pool in Tuscany, and it was always sunny. It was beautiful weather. It was perfect weather, to tell you the truth, which I guess is pretty common when you're planning a vacation, right? You want the sun, you want the nice weather. So here I am having visions of this beautiful sunny weather in Rome and in Tuscany. And I really wasn't paying attention to the current weather there. And it was only sort of maybe about 10 days before my trip that somebody pointed out to me that it had been raining for like 2 or 3 weeks in Italy, and like the forecast was for more rain. And I was like, "Oh." And so that was really, it was sort of like a bucket of cold water, to be honest. I was sort of like, "Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Hadn't planned on that." And for a couple of days, I continued to watch the forecast, and it just kept raining and raining and raining. And the forecast was for rain, rain, rain. And it was looking like it would be sunny like literally the last day I had in the country, like as I was flying back. I was disappointed, and honestly, I think I did think about canceling it because I had this outdoor concert for Bruce Springsteen. I hadn't had a break in a few months, since really a while, several months actually. And I wanted a break. I wanted the peace and quiet. I wanted to be able to sit outside and enjoy. And I thought, if it cannot be like that, then there's no point in going. And then I decided that no matter what, my vacation in Italy was going to be great. It was going to be a great vacation. And it didn't matter what the weather was going to be. I was just going to enjoy it. And I told myself that I could just decide that that was the best vacation I've had in a long time. And I kept repeating that to myself, and I kept telling myself that. And when I actually got to Italy, I was ready to just enjoy myself no matter what. Luckily, we did experience some rain, but not quite to the extent that sort of had been experienced in the last few weeks. I was able to go to the concert, even though it was completely muddy and a mess, but it didn't rain. And it was pouring when I arrived in Tuscany. It sort of had quite a bit of rain in the afternoons, but I was able to spend usually a couple of hours in the morning by the pool. So it worked out. And probably I was quite lucky in that regard. But It still wasn't as ideal as I had first imagined, but it was a great vacation for sure. And it was relaxing, and I just decided that it was great and it worked. I've also done that now for my upcoming trip home. And this is something, it's a little bit different because I enjoy going home, but it's not quite the relaxing vacation because I don't get home very often. So I land up doing banking and dentist and doctor and haircuts and all the things. And then there's there are a lot of people that I want to see and spend time with and things I want to do and food I want to eat. It's quite busy. It's not quite relaxing. And I have in the past been very frustrated by that because I can't reconcile the fact that it's supposed to be a summer vacation, but it's never a lie by the pool or lie by the lake sort of relaxing. It's different. And again, I've done the work on that for this upcoming trip that it is a summer vacation and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great fun and I'm going to enjoy myself immensely and it'll be the best trip home. And I really am in that frame of mind. I really do feel like I have really let go of all of the frustration that I used to experience in past years. And so I wanted to invite you to think about this for yourself for whatever events or discussions or trips you may have upcoming. I was actually speaking about this with a client last night. She has an upcoming trip, which is fine, but she will be visiting a family member. And we did some planning around what that visit will look like. And that included everything from what day she wanted to visit, the amount of time that she wanted to visit. She wanted to go, she wanted to spend an hour and a half with this person. She was clear that that was enough. She was clear that she didn't have to explain it or justify it. And we also did some work around how she wanted to feel after the visit and what she would need to be thinking in order to create that feeling. And I also explained to her that that is accessible to her now. You can think that thought now and create that feeling. You can think that thought all the way up until that meeting or that visit. And then you can think that thought during it and then after it and create that feeling for yourself. And of course, I've said this many times, what you focus on, you will create more of. It's really a shift in your mindset to focus on what you want to create and being very deliberate in how you're thinking, because what you think will create your feeling. And then how you're feeling will drive how you're showing up, what you're doing. And ultimately, that creates the result that you will have experienced. It will create the result that you experience. If you have something coming up that perhaps you are a little bit stressed about, you are a little unsure about, you're a little worried about how it's going to go, know that right now you can decide how you want it to go, what you want to think about it, and how you want to feel about it. Decide that now. Decide that now. Identify how you want to feel at the end of whatever it is. Figure out what thought you need to be thinking that creates that feeling in you and start practicing it now. Let me know how it goes. If you're interested in trying coaching yourself, this is where we do this mindset work. This is where we do that thought work that helps you to create the results that you want in your life. I offer a free private 1-hour coaching session for you to try coaching yourself. And you can learn more about what it would look like to work with me and the results that you can expect to achieve. It's powerful stuff, I promise you. The change you want is possible. Working with a coach helps you to achieve that change. I will include the link to my calendar in the show notes. The appointments are a little light coming up because, as I said, I am going to be home for a few weeks and on vacation. So there are a few appointments available, but I will be adding more once we get into August and September. So as we head into the last half of the year, this is a great time to start looking at what changes you want to make. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to This Daring Adventure podcast with your host, Trista Gurton. We hope you enjoyed the tips and conversations on how to get excited about life again. As always, you can head to tristagurton.com for additional resources and to book a one-on-one coaching session. You can also follow Trista on Instagram at Trista V. Gurton. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.